Many thanks for joining us. Coalition of Northern Groups, CNG in Kaduna, has asked President Muhammadu Buhari and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, who are both 70 years, not to contest the 2019 elections. The CNG's position was contained in a communique issued shortly after the end of a two-day summit, which was held at the Arewa House, Kaduna. The group said the country should be led by young Nigerians that will take it to the promised land. The group and the national president of the AYCF, Shetima Yerima, said the coalition believes that though it is the right of President Buhari and Atiku to contest, adding that it is now left for Nigerians to decide their fate. Ondo State House of Assembly Speaker Iroju Ogundeji has been impeached by his colleagues in the House. The impeachment took place during the plenary session of the Assembly today. Report says the former Deputy Speaker was removed following some allegations of gross misconduct leveled against him. Ogundeji, who represents Odigbo Constituency 2 and member of the All Progressives Congress APC, was removed after 18 out of the 26 lawmakers signed for his removal, and the signature was received by the Speaker of the House, Bamidele Oloye Legun, during the session. Ogundeji was immediately replaced by Bimbo Fajolu, who represents Ileoluji and Igbo State constituency. The lawmaker representing Delta Senatorial District, Senator Ovie Omagege, has appeared before the Joint Senate and House of Representatives other committees set up to investigate the invasion and mace snatching at the Senate chamber on April 18, 2018. Report says Omagege had taken the National Assembly to court to stop the investigation. The committee had on last week invited Senators Omagege and Aliun Dume over their alleged roles in the attack on the Senate. Members of the panel have also criticized the lawmaker for legal action against the legislature. The panel had, however, shifted the investigative hearing to Tuesday following an extended session held by the Senate last Wednesday for consideration and passage of the 2018 Appropriation Bill. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arraigned former minister and immediate past deputy governor of Sokoto State, Mukhtar Shagari, with 4 others before the Federal High Court in Sokoto on charges of money laundering. The defendants, who were brought to court by EFCC personnel, were alleged to have received the sum of 500 million out of 1115 from a former Minister of Petroleum Resources, Desiani Madueke, to manipulate and influence 2015 general elections. Others arraigned with Shagari are the former Commissioner of Information, Ibrahim Gidado, young brother to the former Governor Atahiru Bafarawa, Nasiru Bafarawa, Sokoto State PDP Chairman Ibrahim Milgoma, and the People's Democratic Party candidate in the 2015 gubernatorial Senate elections, Senator Abdullahi Wale. Subsequently, Justice Saleh Kogo Idrissa ordered the defendants to be remanded at the police headquarters until May 24th, when the bail application will be heard. Ilorin Magistrate Court has remanded a banker, Oyeyemi Mashood, in prison for allegedly defrauding customers of over 2 million naira. The accused is standing trial on 3 counts of criminal breach of trust, cheating and misappropriation, to which he pleaded not guilty. The prosecutor, Inspector Matthew Ologbonsaye, told the court that the suspect diverted the customer's deposit to MMM, Twinkers and Lupus Ponzi schemes without the consent of the bank management or the customers. They said the bank discovered the fraud as a result of complaints from the bank customers, Chueze Ventures and Chijoke Ifenobo, that the account did not reflect the amount deposited in the recent time. The prosecutor said the offenses contravened sections 312, sectors 322 and 309 of the Penal Code, and urged the court to remand the accused in prison pending the outcome of investigation. Chairman of Ikpobawa Local Government Council Development Area in Edo State, Eric Osonyode, says dance is an important vehicle to propagate the culture of Edo people. Osonyode disclosed this at the inaugural ceremony of the Oba-Eware Secondary School Cultural Dance Competition in Edo State, which saw several secondary school students showcase their cultural dance skills. Details.
Chairman of Ikpoba Oka Local Government Council, Honorable Eric Osonyode, says dance is an important vehicle to propagate the culture of Edo people. Osayade disclosed these at the inaugural ceremony of the Oba Ewere Secondary School Cultural Dance Competition held in Edo State.
It is the inaugural dancing competition. It is the Tobaoka way of contributing to the complete education of an ID student. Because the Tobaoka local government area have looked at education from three perspectives, which have to do with the cognitive, the affective, and the psychomotor. The cultural aspect of it, we the Jews have been missing. This leads to a lot of students involving themselves in all forms of nefarious activities. The cultural competition is a way of building character. It's a way of going back to where we started from. It's a way of ensuring that an Edo girl dressed according to that recommendation by the Oba of Benin.
The week-long event, which is driven towards bringing back cultural values of Edo indigents, had several schools across the State Council participate. Nine schools qualified for the finals, with Ninja College emerging overall winner of the competition.
I'm very grateful. I just want to say thank you, because I would go and give thanksgiving to God, because the first time we go for the competition we took first, the second time we took third, and today we took first again. So I'm just grateful. I want to say a big thank you to each and every one that organized this.
State Commissioner for Art and Culture Osaze Osewinge Ero lauded the initiative and stressed the need to revive the dying cultural heritage of Africa, a view corroborated by the representative of the Oba of Benin, His Royal Highness Osaibovo Ogumbo.
This is inauguration of the competition of cultural club in secondary school. Please, let's clap for the chairman. This is a very good initiative. Mr. Chairman, you're a pace setter. You have started this, and I want to challenge other local governments to borrow a leaf from you to do this to promote our culture across the states. A few weeks ago, the ministry inaugurated culture clubs in secondary schools across the 18 local governments, telling them what culture is all about. Because the state government believe that without culture, we don't have an identity. The state government believes so much in getting the youth involved in our culture, and not just the adults, because once we get the youth, with what we are seeing here today, we are protecting and promoting our future.
This is the beginning of discipline, and when we are disciplined, we can get everything right. Even the oil and gas we are talking about, supposed to be a blessing, but it's a curse because we are not disciplined. But with this, we are going back to the good old days, where culture promotes discipline. And when we are disciplined, everything is right.
Cultural heritage is an important aspect of the history of Nigeria, and the intricate dance patterns seen from these students shows the future holds a lot for Nigeria.
Unknown gunmen have abducted the wife and children of a Commissioner of Youth, Sports and Skill Acquisition, Abdullahi Gobin, in Zamfara State. The commissioner, who confirmed the attack to journalists in Gusau, said the abductors took away his wife, their 3 children and 3 other relatives. Gobin said they have not yet demanded for any ransom from him. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, has unveiled what he described as the upgraded website of his office, www.osgf.gov.ng. Mustafa, while speaking during the event in Abuja, said it is important to make information on government activities readily available to Nigerians and other stakeholders.
Most government institutions always would put up a website, but to keep the contents relevant and material at every given time has always been the challenge. But as far as the Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation is concerned, is that we will make every deliberate effort at whatever cost to ensure, bearing in mind our responsibility as the office that coordinates government activities, the office that formulates policies for government, the office that serves as the engine house of the government, will make every effort to ensure that our website is current in terms of information, is active, is interactive, and it creates a forum for e-participation so that the people of the country would interrogate government activities, because they have the right to interrogate government activities. And we have a duty and a responsibility to offer them solutions, to offer them answers whenever they interrogate government activities. The citizens of this country, for whatever reason they decide to be critical of government, it's not that they hate the government. They want the government to improve on the services, because they are citizens and they have a legitimate right and a claim to see that their government is working assiduously to meet their aspirations and their earnings. So with these very few remarks, I want to thank you for all efforts that have been put into this, particularly those of you that served on the content committee, those of you that drove the process, and for even our consultants and contractors.
On his part, the Permanent Secretary General Service, Office of the SGF, Olusegun Adekunle, said there is a plan to train initial 50 officers for the 6th office.
That is a task, but it is bringing governance to the people and involving the people in the process. Secretary to the government, this is in a nutshell what we're doing today. But the stages are this. There are 6 offices in the Office of the Secretary to Government. All of this, each of these offices will have content managers that will pass through a channel of authorization before they can upload information to the website, so that people can get informed about what is going on in government. We also have the backup from Galaxy. The SNTP is being set up as the text messaging system that can inform members of the public on the status of action on activities, on the inquiries that they have made. We also have the training plan for our officers. At the initial stage, 50 will be trained, selected from each of the 6 offices. And this will go down the line subsequently.
The Nigerian Police Force says it has arrested 2 gang leaders who had earlier been declared wanted in connection with the April 2nd, 2018 multiple bank robbery in Offa, Kwara State. The police public relations officer, Moshood Jimo, said that the 2 leaders of a bank robbery gang who had confessed to their roles will be arraigned in court soon. The 2 suspects were identified as Kunle Ogunleye, aka Aro, who is 35 years of age, a native of Oro Town in Kwara State, and Michael Adiku, a dismissed police corporal and conflict. The PRO urged the public to volunteer more information about other suspects at large, assuring that the safety of informant is guaranteed. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take some more stories from the business scene. Stay with us.
Before they come, they're supposed to, give us some information, notice, at least maybe a week or so. There was nothing like that.
Hunger is everywhere in Nigeria. People are dying every day, but Nigeria government are keeping quiet. Herdsmen are killing people. Why? It's not what we expected because of these old men that are leading us, and you people know, you are aware that these people are not the right people to lead us. These kind of people that are leading us here are people of black mind. They just care about themselves and their family. You are affecting my village. Let me use if I call it useless, I'm not a mistake. The other place where they build a shop, call it plaza. So each shop got 4 million naira. So I don't have the money, so I have to leave. If you plan to get a tribal mark, it takes a lot of pain, but after some time, you enjoy it. We experience hold up now. During the construction time, Then after some time, we start enjoying it. The way they are doing the construction is too slow. It's too slow. The construction is too slow. They should stop the construction and make sure people go into their businesses and do their businesses.
Welcome back to Superscreen News at 6, and now for some business stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has mocked former President Olusegun Obasanjo for spending $16 billion on power projects during his tenure without corresponding power supply to Nigerians. The president disclosed this at the Presidential Villa Abuja while receiving members of the Buhari Support Organization led by Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Hamid Ali. Buhari said a former Nigerian leader was bragging at a time that his administration spent the amount on the power sector, yet there is nothing to show for the expenditure. You will recall that the House of Representatives had in 2008 described the $16 billion project spent on power by the Obasanjo administration as a colossal waste. The federal government has been urged to reduce the economic burden on Nigerians. This appeal was made by some traders in an interview with Superscreen's Abigail Nana and Toluwani Ojeme while conducting a market survey in Mushin area of Lagos State. Market women and men have called on President Muhammadu Buhari and his team to work on making the nation's economy better such that prices of commodities can be affordable to all Nigerians. These traders bear their minds on the astronomically high prices of food items in an interview with Superscreen crew while conducting a market survey in Mushin area of Lagos. The survey shows that a bag of onion that sells for 10,000 naira before now goes for 15,000 naira, while a bag of rice which sells for 14,000 naira before is now sold for 16,000 naira. On the other hand, a derrick of rice now sells for 250 naira instead of 220 naira.
Before we sell 14,000, but now it's 16,000.
16,000 a bag?
Yes, ma'am.
Onions.
Before na 10,000 naira, now na 15. Everything don't cost you. Make it help Buhari, make it help us you.
One tuber of this year, they gather like this, 100 pieces or 200 pieces. For one like this, if I won't buy one like this, I buy on 600. Before, by the time of New Year, maybe you buy this one like 350 or 300. So before go reach here 400, but now because yam don't dry now, I buy with my 600 for grand for one. Before go reach here 650. So I no gain for market now. It too cost. Even from now, before go sell and finish, some don't spoil.
For Gary, the price remains the same, with the bag still selling at 6,000 naira.
Before we said 6,000, but Gary is still stable for now.
The most striking increase of these commodities is pepper, and especially tomatoes and melon. A derrick of melon, which was sold for 250 naira, now sells for between 800 and 1,000 naira.
Before, tomatoes is very cheap, but now it's very cost. The price we are buying it now, 35, 32, 28 now. Before we are buying it 15, 10, 7,007. Before last year, we are buying it 3,5. But now 35. People say they cannot buy it.
Melon is very, very cost. The Rica before we said the Rica 250, but now is 800 now.
On the other hand, prices of vegetable oil has produced and reduced a bit. For instance, a 25 liter that goes for 13,000 naira now sells for 12,000 naira. But it is not the same with palm oil, because 25 liter now sells for 10,000 naira instead of 4,000 naira.
Before we are buying vegetable oil, the 25 liter, we are buying at the rate of 13,000 naira. But now it's 12,000. We are buying the palm oil at the rate of 4,000 something. Before, but now it's 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira.
How does it really affect you now that you are buying?
It really affects us too much. And now we have low price and low sales now. Before when the market is not moving at all, the time we are selling at 4,000 naira, market is move. But now market is very dull.
Our President Buhari with a beggar. And the place where they now make we help us put money for outside. Money no day. If the money they outside, everybody go buy the thing we like. So we dey beg am now. Make we look our problem. Mekunu now it dey suffer well. No be small.
The government should help us. There's nothing we can do. Only government that can help us because the price is too much and there's no gain at all.
Make he help us. Make he put money for outside. No money, oh.
They are however hopeful that the government will address inflation in the country. This, they believe, will reduce the hardship on Nigerians. President of African Development Bank, AFDB, Akinwumi Adesina, has advised government to create the right environment for an industrial revolution. According to a statement by the AFDB through Adesina, said the advice at the 53rd meeting of the bank in Korea. Adesina said Korea's example is incredible, and Korea was once a poor country as any African country in the 1960s with a low per capita income. And the determination of its people and commitment to industrialization, Korea is now in the 11th biggest economy in the world. The president said African governments should create the right environment for private sector to lead the continent's industrial revolution. United States-based investors, Ameri Metro Corporation, has declared its readiness to provide $10 billion for the construction of speed rails in Nigeria. The firm told the federal government that it had the capacity to fund rail projects across the country while making a presentation at the headquarters of the Federal Ministry of Transportation in Abuja. Officials of the firm, who were hosted by Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, said they decided to show interest in the rail project after it was confirmed that the Chinese group that was initially built to handle them will not be able to deliver on the project as planned. Speaking after a meeting with the officials of the federal government, the founder, Ameri Metro Incorporation, Shah Matthias, said they are in the design process and their goal is to get the project built. You're watching Superscreen News at 6. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take some foreign news plus some sports stars. Stay with us.